What's up, Ducks fans? We are back going to Honda Center after that long road trip. So the Ducks are finally back home, and it feels good to be on our way to a Ducks game. The road trip, man, the Ducks went 5-1-1, and I read that it was our most successful road trip in franchise history of 7 or more games. So that was like really, really awesome to see. So we are just still tearing it up. We're tied with Washington for the best record in the NHL since Christmas, and that's something I've been talking about like almost every video, is how good we've done since Christmas. And also, though, we are 11-1-1 in our last 13 games, and we're also on another 4-game winning streak. So it's insane how good the Ducks are doing right now, considering, I mean, this is a team that started 1-7-2, and just since Christmas, it's just been so awesome. And the Ducks are back. I think I could have said that a long time ago. I probably did it at some point, but I am 100% sure now the Ducks are back. And we have created a pretty huge gap between us, Los Angeles and San Jose, and then the rest of the teams in the Pacific. So, I mean, it's going to be really hard for any team to in the Pacific Division to catch up with us, the Kings or the Sharks. So we're in really good shape to hopefully make the playoffs, and we're playing a team tonight that is one of those teams trying to catch us, the Calgary Flames, and they definitely, looking from their perspective, they need a win tonight very badly. Time's getting away from them, and it's already mid-February, and they've not been doing too hot lately, pardon the pun. So we face our old buddy Jonas Hiller tonight. He's not done too well against us lately, and the Flames haven't done too well against us lately at Honda Center. I'm not going to say, because I don't like to talk about it. Maybe I'll talk about it once the streak gets broken, but I guess I'm already talking about it. So we have a 21-game winning streak at Honda Center against the Flames, but I mean, it's bound to end someday, but it's still pretty awesome. We dominate them at the pond, and so we got that going for us. So yeah, I'm wearing my black Temu jersey tonight, and I think the Ducks are going to continue our dominance against Calgary. I'm going to pick us to win. We've been scoring a lot of goals lately, so I'm going to pick for that to continue. I'm going to say that we score 4 tonight, and that we beat the Flames 4-2. So that's my prediction, and like I said, it's awesome to be back going to Honda Center again. And yeah, I will talk to you all after the game. All right, Ducks fans, it is good to be home. The Anaheim Ducks just laid down another spanking. This one, a 5-2 victory over the Calgary Flames, and the Ducks' dominance just continues. Another outburst of scoring, also just offensively and defensively lately. We've been on a roll, and I'll just get right into the scoring. In the first period, Patrick Maroon scored on the power play. And that was from Hampus Lindholm and Rickard Rakell. Then in the second period, Ryan Kesler scored from Andrew Cogliano and Jakob Silfverberg. And then Calgary made it 2-1. But in the third period, Ryan Getzlaf scored from David Perron and Mike Santorelli. And then Ryan Kesler, on a beautiful play, scored an unassisted goal, his second of the night. And then once again on the power play, this time Kevin Bieksa scored for the Ducks, assisted by Hampus Lindholm and Ryan Kesler. And Kesler just all over the score sheet. He was clearly the number 1 star of the game. Very good game from him. And we were also 2 for 5 on the power play tonight, so that continued to be very successful for us. Just another amazing game from the Ducks. And then we've now won 22 straight regular season home games against the Calgary Flames. 25 straight home games against the Flames if you count last year's playoff series against them in the second round. And it was something I didn't talk about last time we played the Flames at home, and I was trying not to mention it before the game today, but I just ended up talking about it anyway. But it's safer to talk about it now that we won tonight. So the streak lives on, and it's a pretty incredible streak. We're very, very dominant against the Flames here at Honda Center. It's pretty remarkable. And then also just to update our records recently. I've been gushing about it, every video here for a while, our record since Christmas, but we improved it tonight. It is now 19-4-2 since Christmas, and we've won 12 of our last 14. We're 12-1-1 in our last 14 games. Just absolutely insane. We are on fire, and it feels just wonderful. I mentioned the road trip before the road trip, so last video, and I was saying how I was hoping the Ducks could go 5-2, and I was talking about how the Kings are on a road trip also, and maybe we can close the gap in the division, and we did close the gap in the division. The Kings did not have a very successful road trip, so they gave us the opportunity, but we seized it. I was saying I would hope the Ducks would go 5-2. And we went 5-1-1, and I thought maybe it was a little high to ask for 10 points, but the Ducks came away with 11, and it didn't start off too great. It started off 1-1-1. We had the bad loss to Pittsburgh, and then the very frustrating game against Columbus that we lost in a shootout. But then we went into Chicago, got a huge win. I think it really helped the team, and we just started to roll again after that. Just great recent play from the Ducks. Really, since Christmas, the only two bad losses we've had have been Toronto and Pittsburgh. So I mean, it's been a very awesome time. I'm trying to remember what the other losses were. I believe there was a shootout loss to Vancouver, the shootout loss to Columbus, and then a loss to LA and Detroit by 1 goal each. So the other 4 losses, I believe, were all by 1 goal, but then the spankings at the hands of Toronto and Pittsburgh, those were bad games. But I mean, in a stretch of 25 games, to only have 2 really bad losses, I mean, it's just awesome. We've been playing so well. It was even more fun tonight, too, because my opinion about Kings fans, it's not a secret opinion about, how they're obsessed with the Ducks, and they come here, and even when the Kings aren't here, they come to Ducks games to cheer against the Ducks no matter who we're playing. And sure enough, tonight we had one next to us. It was I think it was a couple, but she was a Ducks fan, but he was a Kings fan, which I don't understand how those relationships work. I'll just leave it at that. But he was a Kings fan, and he was a very loud Kings fan, like just obnoxious, not necessarily like screaming, and chanting, but just loud, like talking to people. And he just helped to further prove my theory about how Kings fans are just Duck obsessed, because the whole time all he was doing was making comparisons between the Ducks and the Kings, talking about how much Honda Center sucks and how cool Staples Center is, and talking about how which he's not wrong about this next part, but how when the Kings are at Honda Center, there's about a 60-40 fan split, 60% Ducks fans, 40% Kings fans, while at Staples Center, when the Ducks are there, it's about 90% Kings fans, 10% Ducks fans. And he's not wrong. And it frustrates me because I know a lot of Ducks season ticket holders who sell their tickets when the Kings are in town because in town, quote unquote, because they don't want to deal with Kings fans and because they can get a lot of money for it. And it's very frustrating. So he is right about that. But the fact of the matter is he's still making the comparison, and just there was one point where I just had to say something. I'm not extremely confrontational, but I told him, I said, so the Ducks really have the Kings sweating, huh? And he actually admitted that we do have the Kings sweating, but because he's like chanting "Go Flames, go!" And so I said they kept you guys out of the playoffs last year, but he didn't understand what I meant. I guess he thought I meant the Ducks, and then he said, "Well, we eliminated them in the playoffs 2 seasons ago," and I just kind of like stopped talking to him because it was like it's hard to have a conversation with someone who doesn't really get what you're talking about. But so it was he wasn't necessarily a mean guy, but he was definitely a clown. And that's just how Kings fans are. So it was fun because he left with about 10 minutes left in the game. And felt bad for his Ducks fan girlfriend, whatever, because, you want to stay and see the team celebrate. But that's why those relationships are a question to me. But anyway, so yeah, it was fun tonight seeing a Kings fan get clowned, and I'm really anticipating our next game against them. If the Ducks can keep playing like this, oh man. So yeah, sorry to ramble about that, but the Ducks just so awesome. We play Buffalo in 3 days. I can't wait. It's so fun when the Ducks are playing well. So I will see you all in just a few days. Go Ducks. See you later.